Hey guys, I join you this morning fresh-faced because we're going to be putting on the makeup today as we talk about 10 products from e.l.f. that I think are super under the radar, underrated. You don't hear a lot of people talking about them. For me personally, well, there are a lot of things that I know and love from e.l.f. and I talk about them a lot, be it the brushes or the camo concealers or the tweezers or the lip exfoliator. You know, there are those things that I just have shouted from the rooftops for quite some time, but there are things, even for me, that I feel have gone kind of unnoticed for a while, and they're great products, like really surprisingly good. It doesn't necessarily amount to a full face. I'll probably kind of breeze through those sections where I'm applying something else, but we'll really stop and chat about these 10 things. And also, this shirt that my sister got me for Christmas, it's like a little peplum situation. I love that. Thank you, pup. She dresses me better than I dress myself. All right, hair pulled back, and we are ready for item number 1. It is this cooling under eye refresh. I feel like I may have used this a long time ago, but it's kind of rediscovered, reappreciated. Would be a great thing if you're one with a makeup fridge or just any kind of fridge in general. I've already got my skincare on and everything, but this feels so good on the under eye area. A lot of this like kind of serum comes out when you roll it on. It feels really good. It just adds to the moisture in the under eye area. But also, if you want to be a little more subtle about the amount you put on, you can use it like over makeup just for a little bit of a cooling boost and not really go to the point of rolling. You know, not as much will come out, but it's a really nice like start of the day skincare step that feels so cooling. I have not had a sip of my coffee yet. I feel more awakened though for just having used this on the eye area. It's crazy what something cooling does to the under eye. So I love that. I would highly recommend that if you're looking for a little inexpensive boost to start your day. Another sort of prep step here that has amounted to a really interesting touch-up step for me as well is the e.l.f. Blurring Primer Serum. Now there's a product from Farsali that I really like called Skin Tune Blur. I think it's a really nice kind of serum-y feeling primer, but it's very like silky smooth. This I feel is kind of accomplishing what that does. You know, it's good for the pores and everything, but I feel like it actually has some more moisture in it, this e.l.f. one does. So let me get a little bit out here. It looks just creamy white, get a little bit more, but you apply it to the skin, and I really think about those areas like center of the face where I know I want that blurring action. And this is a fantastic primer. Again, adds some moisture, but as your hands work over your skin, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so silky smooth. But the other day I was messing around as I was touching up my makeup. I took a little bit of this and I just like kind of patted it up on the under eye area, just gently pressed it into the skin, and then I topped it off with a little bit of powder, and I felt like it was a great refreshing sort of touch up on the skin. I couldn't believe how well it worked in that respect, and that's not really something that this claims to do, but it does it pretty well because it does have that moisture element. Not going to end up making your skin feel over the top sticky and dewy or anything, but it adds a little moisture and it does the smoothing. So I think that's a nice little like kind of two-in-one thing. Next little underappreciated, under the radar e.l.f. find would be this Perfect Finish HD powder. This has been just a really nice little general setting powder here. As you can see, yes, it is white as you look at it, and it even swatches kind of white, but as you apply it onto the skin, there isn't like any kind of a white cast, okay? I just go in with my small tapered brush, and I feel like I can use this to kind of set the under eye area, make it look a little more perfected, but it doesn't make it look more dull, if you know what I mean. My concealer today was a little more brightening in tone than my foundation, so I feel like, okay, I want to maintain that, and I feel like I do. This side has it, this side doesn't. I get the benefit of better staying power when I use this, because that's just really what I notice with me. If I set my under eye, it ends up looking fresher for longer. If I set my T-zone, same deal, the makeup hangs around longer. So this is just kind of one of those no-brainer colorless powders that I can use in those spots where I mainly want to use powder. and the fact that it's pressed I think makes it a little easier and a little more low fuss compared to a lot of different loose powders. Now there are many powders that I like, but I feel like this is one that I can add to that list, and it was just kind of lurking there on e.l.f.'s website. So I do really like and appreciate this product. This next thing I tried very recently, I am super impressed. This little compact here, this e.l.f. Active Workout Ready Lip and Cheek Palette. I don't care if it's workout ready, it's just a good quality little palette here. Little palette of creams that can be used for lips and cheeks, and they're so nice. Like, I love the tones that are in here. They're really super easy to use, and something I've realized is how much I like this little brush that they put out with the CC cream, and I was kind of like, well, it's not quite full enough for me to love it as a foundation type brush or a concealer brush. Well, it's like a really good density level to work with these products on the cheeks actually. Even this one that looks kind of like a deep tan color, I could have just used this straight up as my bronzer today. Go into it, give it a little blend on the skin. I kind of like getting it directly on my brush. Just makes quick work of the process, you know, but that can give you a little bit of warmth on the skin. But I'm loving these kind of blushy shades right here, and these are beautiful on the lips as well. Just get a little on the cheek, blend it right out. It's gorgeous, this deeper rosy shade, and it's like nothing to blend in. I think we underestimate the beauty of a creamy cheek color. Want it a little lighter? Okay, we got this toasty peach color in here as well that could look nice right on the apple of the cheek. Gorgeous finish on the skin. I mean, they're just creamy and pigmented, and then you're like, okay, well, maybe I want one of those as a lip color. Loving this shade right here as a lip. Use the little brush. Now we may come back later and switch up the lip a bit because I got something else to show you, but in the meantime. Oh, there also is a little mirror in there too. I mean, what a great little compact. This kind of earthy, dusty rose though, I'm loving. Nothing wrong with that lip brush either, or you could just pop it on with your fingertips. Then, my friends, if you have this brush or just any kind of smallish brush, this highlighter cream. This is so, so pretty. And then I kind of like blending that in with the finger, or you could use the other end of the brush, your choice. For some reason, I feel like I'm melting it in with my finger a bit, but you can use either. And I love that glow that gives. It's also super pretty in the inner corner of the eye, the cupid's bow, or center of the lower lip. I love it because it's just like pearly. It's not as though they've tried to stuff that with glitter. If they had, I probably wouldn't love the product so much. It's just everything is working really well. A little more blush. It's just fun to play. Mix the colors around, see what you get. I just think it's a lovely little product. I've never talked about it before. I hadn't tried it until recently, and I'm super enjoying it. I was a little on the fence about the e.l.f. Lock-On Brow and Liner because, I mean, I have talked about it some, but it hasn't been until like really late in the year, last year that I did. But I wear it in the shade Espresso, and it is truly an effective eyeliner and brow cream. Like, it lasts really well as a cream liner. It's just a very versatile product. It's creamy enough to work in both capacities. If it wasn't like a pretty creamy brow pomade, then it wouldn't translate as an eyeliner. You know, you don't want to be struggling to get that across the upper lash line. And with some brow pomades, you definitely would. And I often talk about liking ones that aren't too creamy because they're just easier to put on the brows. Well, I've kind of acclimated myself to this. You know, I've made it so I know I only need a little bit in the brows. It's a nice, dark, pigmented, rich, creamy product. But what makes it special is that it's also creamy enough to work as an eyeliner. And for me, you know, I realize not all hair colors would want their brow color to also be their eyeliner, but for me it really works. And I think it is one of those things that I just don't hear many people talk about from e.l.f., but it's a brilliant product. And I use it here with the Eyebrow Duo brush, also sold by e.l.f. Okay, so we've got those all filled in. You can use that little spoolie to help, you know, rake the product through, get it all evened out. I do have another brow product here that maybe it's just me, that this has really gone under my radar for a while. I've been using similar products from various brands, you know, tinted brow gel, cream type things to set the brows but that have a little color. Been using a lot of that type of product from different brands for a while, but I had never really explored the e.l.f. Wow Brow until recently, and I think it is fantastic. I don't hear a lot lot of other people talk about it, but it's certainly missed me for a while as well. And it's not been till just the past few weeks that I've realized like it's grown on me so much. I wear the deep brown shade, and what you're going to notice when you take the little brush out is there are tons of little fibers. Okay, so this is going to big time like thicken up the brows, and I think it can be worn alone too and be pretty effective, but that sort of depends on how much work you need to do to your brows every day. You know, if you're just doing a little bit and you feel like a cream could be all you need, you might check this out because it does a good job holding. It adds that thickness, gives you the color. I'm not really sure how I can criticize this product. I mean, the brush is super small and manageable. You're gonna be tempted to call it Bow Wow, but it's Wow Brow. Eyeshadow wise for e.l.f., I feel like their bite-sized palettes like took everyone by storm in the past year, and that was what caught a lot of the attention, a lot of the buzz. Also maybe some of their larger palettes like New Classics or some of the special ones that came out with different collections throughout the year. But something that's really going under our radar, and mine specifically, these palettes, these skinny palettes that started out being like called Mad for Matte. There are a couple of really good matte versions. One is a little bit cooler neutral, one is warmer, has a beautiful like purpley shade in it. Love that one as well. But I personally have talked about those a little bit more. The one that I haven't talked about and just kind of jumped out at me in my own collection, I did have this, but I hadn't spoken about it much. This Rose Gold Sunset palette is absolutely dynamite. Like what's in here, the textures of these shadows, they are so nice. There's a beautiful spread in terms of just the color range and everything. And I'm gonna throw together a little look with this today. I've been playing with it the last day or so, and I was just like, wow, this one missed me, you know, somehow it did. So you got a couple of really great options here to start out your look. A dusty pink and then sort of a terracotta color. This is, yeah, a warm type palette, so keep that in mind. But I'm just taking that dusty pink shade and working it right here into my crease. It is a fully matte color. The owls are hooting out the window. Oh, we finished Yellowstone last night. I don't know what I'm gonna do till what, June? I'm sure I'll find something else. I've already got a new coffee mug coming in the mail that says, "Don't make me send Rip." If you've watched the show, you know. Okay, so we got that beautiful shade prepping the crease. Let's throw in just a little bit of the next shade down, just to see, you know, that's a little bit deeper and more browny. Then we take just a full blending brush, make sure our edges are all clean here. And I'll go into this shade at the end, which does have some beautiful shimmer. That's like a really soft, buttery type of color. I just can't believe like e.l.f. has done so well. They really have done so well with eyeshadows recently that things like this just kind of float to the back, even though it's downright awesome. I mean, yeah, we love a cute little quad, but this is giving you like everything you need. You know, I love this rich shade down here that's kind of plummy, and the shade beside it, it's like a dark rosy brown. That's actually a pretty unique shade. Love. I'm gonna go into the darkest one. Flat brush and just start patting this out here. Show you how well these mattes and how easily these mattes work together. But yeah, if this line of shadows has kind of passed you by as well, look to those fully matte ones that they also have, because those are great options too. I just had more of an awareness of those. This particular palette just snuck in. What else do you like? Are there any other ones that for you kind of took you by surprise, or ones that you love that you feel like nobody talks about? Let me know. That is so pretty, that depth. Now going back to the E25 brush that I started with and just blending over it, okay? So I kind of, you know, suggested that it go in the direction of the crease. I got it starting to pad up in there, but now we use this brush to help it really smooth out and blend in with the crease color that was already there. We've got to put in a little bit of this too, just because I like to play. That's a great, easy kind of merger type of shade over the edge of the darkness. A little bit deeper though than what you started out in the crease with. Although that could be a pretty shade to initially put in the crease. But are you seeing how easily and how satisfyingly these shades are all coming together here? Like the spread of mattes is darn near perfect in this palette. Yes, shimmer wise, let's pop some of this copper. I mean, have you seen a truer looking copper? Let's pop a little bit of that like center lid. Okay, and then go inward with something maybe just a little bit brighter. Let's see this shade here. This one I haven't really played with much, the one right next to the buttery shade. Ooh, pretty. What is that? Like a very soft, like a mix of gold and champagne? Smooth. You're not gonna run into anything like really chunky and unmanageable with these shimmers. They're either gonna be like soft and shimmery or really nice and metallic and smooth. And you know another brush that I've kind of run into and love? This E27 detail blending. It's like a mini E25 if we look at them side by side here. Not as full, not as big. I kind of started liking like taking to a more accent kind of shade with this. I'm using that ruby red. Starting it kind of in the crease so we don't get too much of like a splotch of color, but letting that blend out just a little bit. We're just playing. Also love the beautiful mirror that you get in these palettes too. Oh, just so much is going right. Beautiful, kind of smoky feeling yet warm. And then I'm going to take some of the deepest shade here, running some of that down below. If you want that color to look a little softer, go to that rosy brown right next door. Kind of blend and smudge. I decided to put some lashes on today, guys. Anybody remember the red cherry? I think they were number 43. I believe they're now calling them sage or something. I found them on Amazon not that long ago. I was like, this is a style I really, really love. They're full, really more full on the outsides, but there's some nice length to them. But at this point, before I move into another lip product, I wanted to mention this kind of cool rediscovered thing here, the Line and Blend lip pencil. I have it in Dusty Rose. My next pet better watch out. It could very well be named Dusty Rose. Got a retractable lip liner here. So I've got a little product on. This shade is actually like really mimics what's on my lips already, but it's a creamy liner and it's really pretty if you just fill in and only wear this. But you kind of get that all filled in, and then the cool part about it is they stuck a lip brush, a nice little lip brush on the other end. And if you're wanting to blend this shade and kind of neutralize another lip color you got on, like you're applying it on top sort of the way I am, it's really neat. Or if you're applying the lip pencil on its own and you just want to kind of throw it on and then even it out and blend it around, you can use this little brush side. But I really like the concept of taking this color, and if you've put something on that's just maybe a little too loud or whatever, this particular shade just really kind of neutrals it up a little bit, and I like that that brush is real handy right there. So that's an additional product I wanted to mention that, you know, I haven't thought about in a long time. Definitely rediscovered, but I think under most people's radar. I'm gonna pop this lash on. All right, lashes are on. I've now removed the lip stuff I had on to talk about the last thing here. This is another one of those kind of like the lock-on brown liner cream. It's like I have mentioned it, but it's been kind of recently and I still feel like it's just sort of a thing that's floating around there in e.l.f.'s line that's amazing, but people don't talk about much. And it's the Sheer Matte Liquid Lipstick. I have 3 shades of this. I love them. They go on like watery thin. They are still pigmented. They're not going to be streaky at all, at least none of the 3 shades I have. But they last well, maybe not as hardcore as other liquid lipsticks do. It's not a transfer thing. It's not because of that, but it's just because they're thinner and I think they're broken down a bit more easily than like a Super Stay Matte ink. I'm just gonna be honest with you on that. But still, my deepest shade here gets me through a good chunk of the day and I barely feel it. I'd hardly feel that it's on because it's so thin. So if you've never tried a liquid lipstick before and you're like, you know, I would kind of enjoy that staying power, but I don't want to feel anything, maybe this is what you want to try. I have the shades Praline Petal, that's my deepest, probably my favorite. Nude Rose, I threw that on in a recent video. This one always makes me think kind of like soft red when I put it on. And then I got this pretty warm shade called Warm Verbena, kind of a toasty neutral nude type shade. I'm gonna throw on this deepest shade, the Praline Petal. It's just my favorite. It's kind of a berry color. But you got a really nice applicator here, nice point. I wish I could just translate to you how thin that is. In the Emily Awards, this came up in like a lip stain category was where I put it. because it does kind of feel like it's doing the job of a stain, but lasts better than probably most stains I have used. But it will dry down completely, so you won't be worried about this transferring off. I think the thing is, it's like, what are you eating that day? You know, if it's a fried chicken for lunch day, this may not survive quite as well, but if you're being kind of careful about things, it could last you pretty well. And again, light as air. Feels like nothing. My friends, I'm feeling like letting the hair down, trying to get a little thing going on here. Got my lashes on, got my cute shirt. Where am I going today? Oh, nowhere? Okay. Last thing I want to bring up. This is an amazing product from e.l.f., the Solid Sponge Cleanser. You can use this, guys, with all your brushes if you want to. Now, I really do love that Sigma thing that has like the built-in scrubbies, and that works great for brush cleaning too. But this is also a wonderful little thing. You just twist the top off, and then you've got this like chunk of soap to work with. I think it's charcoal infused, and you can just rub your brush on there, get it soaped up, or your sponge, same goes for the sponge, get it all up in there, get it all soapy, and then it rinses so clean from the brush. Definitely a great little thing to have on hand. I've already gone through one of these, so this is a brand new one. And then it has a little place to live, you know? You don't need to spend money on a beauty blender cleanser type product when you can have something like this. It's great when you can run into a product like that you'll probably be using over and over again and going through it a lot. Nice to be able to find that at an e.l.f. price, is it not? So guys, that wraps up this video. The 10 things that I feel are just these under the radar awesome e.l.f. finds that you will find on their website. Maybe some of these you will run into in store as well, but I think they're all really useful, really handy products. As you heard, I got a reason behind liking each and every one of them. Let me know in the comments section what products you feel this way about from e.l.f.'s line, because they really have become a huge line. I remember e.l.f. being brand new when I started my channel. So we're talking back in like 2007, 2008, and they have grown so much. They're releasing so much, and they're just definitely a brand that I like to stay on top of. And now I feel like I'm really on top of it because I've paid attention to some of their new things recently, but now I'm under the surface. I'm under the radar. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.